Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's reading. Of course, you know me as the Shadow Seeker, and I am going to be doing a collective reading for my beautiful collective that I channel into each and every week. I do want to apologize because once again, I faltered and there was no reading video for last week. So I do want to apologize for that. But as a special little gift for you guys, I am definitely going to be doing another reading after this video. It will be posted on Friday, and I'm definitely going to adhere to that schedule. So be on the lookout for that reading, as that will make up for last week's reading that unfortunately I did not get to. And we won't waste any more time. We will just jump right into this reading. And as I am shuffling the cards, I really do hope that everyone is doing quite well. I hope that everyone is finding peace and stability through everything that's going on in their lives. Although, as I'm saying that and as I'm shuffling, I do feel multiple threads of energy, and I am feeling a layer of chaotic energy for many people that I'm channeling into. And if you are new to the channel, or if you have stumbled across this reading or have felt guided to this reading, if you are not part of the collective that I channel into each and every week, by commenting, by thinking, or sending energy towards this channel, I will be able to pick up on your energetic thread and add your energy to the collective. And there may be something here for you, but only take it if it truly resonates. Not every message is meant for everybody. And with collective readings, we may go through multiple different threads of energy because we are channeling on a large scale here. But I just want to say that, again, if you feel guided and something is here for you, please take it. But if you don't, please give it to someone else that needs to hear the messages. And okay, we have our first card here. Okay, so this is actually a very interesting reading. I just had to pause here for a moment. So, the intention of this reading really was only to draw seven tarot cards, and then we were going to clarify with oracle cards. But this is a really powerful synchronicity and has never happened in any kind of reading that I've ever done, whether personal or collective. But the intention, again, was to draw seven cards, and seven cards actually came out. I thought it was just one card that came out, but seven cards actually just kind of flew out. And I really thought it was just one card. But this is really, really powerful. And I just wish you could really see, like, how it happened. I mean, it's just really powerful. So I guess the best way that I could do this reading is to just say what the cards are and then just say what I am feeling. And okay, the first card is the Queen of Wands reversed. So I'm picking up this strong energy here of self doubt. Inner power is being blocked right now. And there's a lot of external validation issues. So it's really interesting to say. And I'm really sensing that many people in the collective are really struggling with some sort of confidence issue, or they're being diminished somehow, or there's a lot of disconnection when it comes to their personal power. There's a lot of hesitancy when it comes to stepping forward and being seen authentically, is what this feeling feels like. And I'm really sensing that a lot of people are really sort of dimming their light when it comes to other people's circumstances or opinions. So there could be a lot of like conflict with another person, is what I'm sensing. This could be a loved one, this could be a lover, this could be someone in the family, this could be in the workplace, but it primarily feels like a really strong interpersonal relationship. I'm not really picking up like soulmate energy or twin flame energy or anything that is really like high level energetic thread type of energy, but this really does feel like someone that you are close with. But if you do have this soul contract that, is really powerful, or there's something about this person that makes you feel a particular way. And I feel like you know what I'm talking about. Like, not just like an everyday person that you kind of go by in passing, but, someone that makes you really feel or makes you do something that has a lot of influence over you. It's like, in a sense, you're really being blocked by this person, or you're being controlled or manipulated, is what this energy feels like. It's really interesting. Next, we have the Queen of Cups here. So I'm sensing a lot of emotional burnout and a lot of boundaries that are really not being clear, or someone really lacking a lot of boundaries. And this card is reversed. So I'm sensing a lot of emotional overwhelm that's like really like beneath the surface. So it's like a suppression type of energy where it's like something is not being communicated emotionally, or something's being blocked. And it really feels like many people in the collective are absorbing too much when it comes to something with a lack of emotional clarity. There's a lot of like codependent energy that I'm feeling. There's a lot of hypersensitivity, a lot of someone's intuition, and it feels like divine feminine energy. So if there's many divine feminines in the collective that I'm channeling right now, or people that really resonate with that energy dynamic, it's like there's this external person or circumstance that is really blocking a lot of your divine feminine intuition or divine feminine power at the moment. And it's like they're siphoning it, or they're draining it in a way, or they're doing something to really suppress the energy that you naturally exude. So it's almost like your intuition is screaming at you, but it's like this circumstance or this person is somehow clouding your judgment right now. That feels really powerful for somebody. The next card is the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So there's a lot of delay or resistance, a lot of fear behind being stuck with something. So there's a lot of stagnation when it comes to progressing with something in the physical. And it feels like whatever effort you're trying to make right now, it's not going anywhere. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of restlessness. Now, this really primarily feels like the energy of a relationship, but I'm sensing for other people, this could be work related, or something in the physical that is not manifesting the way that you want it to, or you feel like things are not flowing the way that they should. I really feel like we need to draw a few oracle cards just with those first three cards, just to kind of amplify this energy a little bit. Okay, we have the hopeful card, which says inspired, optimistic success. And another card came out too. And this is really interesting. It's the love affair card, and it's reversed. And this card right here, and by the way, I know we're definitely talking about a relationship. This card says dirty little secret, sex fix, and it says down low. And it's really interesting seeing it reversed, because when it's upright, the couple that's in the imagery here, they're upside down. But when it's reversed, it's like they're right side up. So that's really kind of interesting here. I feel like that says a lot about the type of energy dynamic that we're channeling into right here. And I feel like it's really specific to a certain group of people in the collective. So I feel like most of these messages might not be for everybody, but I do feel like there will be something for everybody. But with this hopeful card, I'm really sensing here that there's a lot of heaviness. There's a lot of like this feeling of being weighed down. But in spite of like the burnout, despite the suppression energy, despite the lack of forward momentum that I'm sensing, it's like there's this glimmer of hope that someone has. and they feel like something is going to work out right, that it's just going to take time, that it's just going to take something from like a higher power or just this belief that things are just going to work out right. And as I say that, it's really interesting because like I just had this like imagery of this old song, which many people may not know, but it's by Ike and Tina Turner. And I think it's called I think it's gonna work out fine or work out right. But it's one of their like early songs and it really talks about how Tina really, didn't kind of have any kind of hope that the relationship was gonna really go anywhere or, she was kind of like describing how, Ike was sort of like a rolling stone in a sense. But she had this belief that things were gonna work out right because there's something that she saw. Now, I don't think Tina wrote it, or I don't think she really had any like creative input in it, but for some reason that just kind of came across. But we all know how that relationship actually ended up. So that could actually say a lot for someone that's dealing with a lot of like relationship issues. Now, with this love affair card, though, with that being reversed, like there's a few layers here. So there's like something that's really hidden or toxic, and it feels like some sort of like entanglement with something, and something is being exposed, or there's like power being lost. And I'm sensing something like a release from shame or something that is surrounding intimacy or self worth. So there's like some sort of issue with that I'm sensing. And it really feels like many people that are experiencing some sort of like relationship issue right now, they're really pulling away from the one sided addictive patterns or something that is just no longer really aligning with their healing, with the way that they want to go right now. So there's like something in this relationship for you that just doesn't settle well with you. And you're like really wanting to expand out of that. But I'm sensing another thread of energy though, where it feels like, you know, you're just hoping that somehow things are just going to work out. But like I said, you got to think about, that Ike and Tina Turner situation. I mean, like I said, we all know how that really ended up. So if you have some sort of like intuition on how you think a relationship is going for you right now, if you really are feeling guided that, you need to really like work on that as far as how you want things to go and you're not being met halfway, then, it might be time to reevaluate, like, where you stand with that said person. But I just want to, take a little moment and just say, like, I'm not like a relationship expert in any way. And even though this may seem like a relationship reading primarily with what's been said so far, I'm in no way, authorized to give any sort of like advice on how you live your life. You are the conscious creator of your life. So, whatever you feel guided to do, then definitely do that. You have free will. Definitely don't say that I, told you to do anything that, you should or should not do. Only do what you feel guided to do. So, I just want to put that little disclaimer out there. And I do hope that you are looking at the disclaimers in the description box of all of the reading videos. But with that being said, with these cards being paired with the first three cards, I'm just really sensing that some sort of karmic cycle is like really losing its grip right now. And it really feels like you are really ready to detach from something that has been really exhausting you emotionally and physically. And it's like you're realizing something, you're awakening from something. And I'm just seeing something really unraveling for you. And there is that spark of hope, energy that I'm really feeling. So it just makes me wonder how things are really going to go. But It's like I said, it's really up to you. So now continuing with the reading, we have here the Nine of Wands reversed for that fourth card that came out. And so, I'm just really sensing here that it's like the collective right now from spirit, it's like you're being invited right now to let go and let go of like being hyper vigilant towards something and allow vulnerability to come in, allow the inspiration to come back in. So it's like you're being guided to release like defensive mechanisms to kind of soften your heart, is what it feels like. To really listen to that inner healing, is what this feels like. It's just really interesting energy. Now, the next card, okay, is the Knight of Wands in the upright position. I'm really sensing here that many people are really looking towards their spiritual side right now for answers over material desires. And they're really realigning their dreams in a sense. It's like something deeper is forming beneath disillusionment, is what this feels like. It's like you're really kind of like revisioning what happiness means to you. I know that's going to connect with somebody. I really do. And the next card is the Nine of Cups in the reverse position. So the message here is it's definitely spiritual fulfillment, that I'm sensing over material desires. I don't know why that feels like that coincides with the Knight of Wands. It's like that's the strongest set of energy. I really feel like that's more the Nine of Cups energy that I just said instead of the Knight of Wands energy. Because the Knight of Wands, this is more about taking like bold, inspired movement. It's like taking a creative risk. And so that's what's happening here. There's like some sort of momentum that will be happening, some sort of shift. Passion returning is what it feels like. And it's going to lead to you realigning what happiness means for you. So it's interesting how it came out the way it came out, the way that I said it. But wow, like that's just so interesting. But okay, here's where, we get really, really, I just had to take a moment. Okay, so the last card is the Tower, and that's in the upright position. So this is the only major arcana card that came out in the reading. And there's definitely going to be some sort of inevitable massive shift that's going to be occurring. So it's something you're not going to see, but it's definitely something that is formulating for you right now or has already been formulating for you. It's going to be a major sudden change, but it's going to be really liberating. It feels like a karmic disruption. And whatever collapses, it's not punishment, it's initiation. And it's just going to clear space for truth and authenticity to rise. So, whatever this is, like, you're not going to really be prepared for it. Like, you're going to kind of be like shocked when this happens or when this occurs. But like I said, it's something that has already been formulating for you behind the scenes from spirit or from your guides. And this is something that's happening for you, not to you. I just want to put that out there. But for many of you, you are going to be kind of like, damn, like, why did this have to happen again the way that it did? You're going to feel like, okay, this is the same wound, but it's like a different person. But this is definitely meant to happen the way that it's meant to happen. So I just have to put that out there. So now I do want to draw just a few more like oracle cards and maybe a few more tarot cards, excuse me, just to kind of, wrap a lot of this up, okay? Okay, so now I have more of a complete picture of what's really going on here. And I feel like this definitely is primarily a relationship reading. So, for those of you that actually are single, there may be not much really here for you, but I do feel like some of the other messages may apply in other areas of your life. But the last two tarot cards that I drew, we have the Two of Swords reversed, and it's paired here with the Death card reversed. And so this definitely paints a more complete picture. So, what I am seeing here is that spirit is really calling for surrender because transformation in whatever kind of relationship scenario you have going on is long overdue. What no longer grows must be shed. And there's something that is really necessary that needs to end within this relationship that you have, but you're resisting it out of fear, out of guilt. But by resisting it, it's really just prolonging a lot of suffering. And I'm really seeing here a more complete picture of what's really going on. There's a lot of internal chaos, a lot of stagnation, a lot of emotional depletion. And there's something that's really majorly draining and disorienting when it comes to this connection. There's a lot of entanglements that are built on fantasy, unresolved desire, false hopes, and you're really just hopeful for a better outcome, but it almost feels like that hope is just like fleeting in a sense. This is really coming through very strongly. And what I'm really seeing is that, spirit is ready to kind of lift this veil, of like whatever kind of veil that you're looking at this relationship under, or rose colored glasses, or whatever, a mask, so to speak, needs to fall. And I'm really seeing that with your free will, that you are going to be trying to like move things in a very impulsive manner. You're going to be sort of like chasing a dream or desire, but you're going to actually ultimately realize that whatever kind of wish fulfillment that you have, it's not really being fulfilled. And so the tower actually is more like a divine intervention, so to speak. So it's like the more you resist and the more you try to force an outcome, the tower actually comes in and it actually sort of crumbles this illusion that you have in your mind, this picture that you painted of this particular relationship. And it really clears this illusion in a very massive corrective way. And so, in the aftermath of all that, that's when something really comes in and it really actually is better for you, but you just won't quite see it yet. Now, I do have a few more oracle cards here. We have the boundaries card, which says disrespectful, enough is enough, defend yourself. So, this is definitely spirit, wanting you to really reaffirm your boundaries, to really know that, enough really is enough, to really listen to that gut feeling or your intuition about what's really happening here, in reality, instead of whatever kind of fantasy that you have right now. And your guides are really guiding you in a way, but you have to surrender. That's why the excuse me, Archangel Michael card is out here. I feel like that's a tongue twister for some reason, but that says protection, prevent it from harm, divine intervention. So there really is guides and your spirit team or a higher power, whatever you believe in, that is really trying to help out, but you have to surrender to it. You have to trust the process, so to speak. But alternatively, the more you resist, the more you feed into this tension. That's why the tension card is here: stressed out, migraines, worry. Divine intervention will eventually come in and it's going to come in really heavily. And it's not going to be in a way that you really are going to kind of be receptive to, at least at first. But Eventually you will. But we also have the blocked card. It says moved on, nothing to say, stop calling. So this could actually be more like a future timeline that I feel like we're channeling into, where you may end up blocking this person. You may realize that they're really no good for you, or that they're not really fostering anything healthy for you. And you make the conscious decision out of your own free will to separate from this person. But that is completely up to you. So, with all that said, we're just going to draw one last oracle card just to finalize this reading and close this reading. But I just want to take a moment and thank everyone for extending their beautiful energy to this reading. And I really do feel like there were many multiple threads of energy, and actually, really still are multiple threads of energy. But what we discussed definitely is the strongest threads. So, again, only take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. Because I do know that many people in the collective that I channel into are actually single, but there are many couples that are dealing with a lot of different magnitudes of a relationship or entanglement. Okay, we actually have 3 cards that came out, so that could be a significant angel number for you, 333, so I definitely recommend looking that up. And also 99, you could look that up as well, because we did have 2 9 cards come out. And so the first card is the enabling card. It says, "There is someone you're helping, or are you?" Question mark. In reality, you may be enabling them to continue in negative patterns and never take full responsibility for themselves. Step back and let things play out. So that's definitely a call from spirit or your higher guides to really reevaluate, are you actually fostering growth, or is there anything mutual between you and this person, or is this a codependent type of scenario where you're really just enabling them? And the next card is the reward and recognition card. This one says, "Congratulations, your hard work will soon pay off and take you in the direction of your dreams. Acknowledge your efforts and your own power." So that's definitely a straightforward message and very beautiful. But I do feel like that actually really is going to connect more for the people that are actually consciously taking the reins in their lives right now and really trying to manifest something very specific for their 3D circumstances right now. So I feel like that's less to do with the relationship aspect of the reading and more to do with something else. But it feels like something tangible. And the last card is the bring balance card. And this one says, "You're putting too much energy into something, creating lack somewhere else. Take action now to correct the situation or risk further imbalance, which could lead to undesired results." Now, I do feel like low key, that is like definitely a warning about that tower moment. So definitely kind of keep that in your mind, especially when that does come, you know. But this tower moment again is something that, has already been kind of culminating. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I really don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's something that's been like kind of already growing or festering in a sense in the background. And when it actually comes, it's like you'll know when it comes because you've already kind of felt it or sensed it, but you really still won't see it happen because it's going to be kind of like spontaneous or just sort of like out of the blue, as most tower moments are. So just want to kind of, let you know about that. But this is where we conclude the reading. And again, I want to thank everyone for extending their beautiful high vibrational energy to the reading. And I do hope something here connects for you. If you are going through something as far as relationships go, I really do hope that something can, resolve peacefully for you, because I know nobody wants to deal with a lot of relationship drama or baby daddy, baby mama drama, or whatever that may look like for you. But I am sending you lots of love, light, and happiness. And I just want to thank you again for supporting me in the channel. And I definitely will see you in the next reading.